everyone. My name is Branko Pujić. I'm Sophos Senior Sales Engineer. Thank you for your time. Thank you to SmartCon for this nice event and for choosing such a nice place here in Bled. I really enjoyed. Today I will present you Sophos adaptive cybersecurity ecosystem, but I will more talk as a basement, but I will talk more about evolution to cybersecurity as a service. So first of all, just to ask you, how many of you using XDR solution of any vendor? 1, 2, 3. Okay. And MDR, Managed Detection Service, from any vendor partner? Okay. So you're the right audience for this, definitely. Well, our ecosystem we built in the recent years is evolution of synchronized security. And today we are going towards cybersecurity as a service, and this is the main topic. What is synchronized security? Anyone else heard for this? How we behave in reality if we are attacked? What we are doing? We are trying to protect ourselves, and we are trying to ask for help for others, for example, on the street. And why we are doing this? First, to try to save us, to engage others to help me, yeah? And of course to inform all others, for example, on the street about the threat. So by this, I automatically increasing awareness about the threat around me. So this is automated, some kind of automated response on threat or attack. So when you are thinking about security, because previous two presentation talked a lot about complexity. So just think how to automate. In real life, we do not think about this, but we behave in this automated response mode of work to the threat. So please always have in mind these parallels, how we behave in real life, because all this applies to cyber world too, because we built it, we are building it constantly, and we are applying transferring everything from the real life to cyber world. So the same is synchronized security as the Sophos. 7 years ago, Sophos invented this sharing of information about health between the nodes which are protected by the Sophos products among themselves. Why? To increase automatically awareness about threat inside the network and to be able to respond. These base responses were in the form of, for example, automated isolation of some node or server and restricting access towards other parts of the network. So, but during the time, we realized that we need more sensors, more data, more intelligence, and more integrations, these responses to be more precise and more more intelligent. This is the final target. And working on this for many years, at the end, we built our ecosystem. In the heart of everything is our threat intelligence. And of course, in real life, intelligence is behind our security, as you know, various forms of intelligence. So we have here Sophos artificial intelligence farm engines, very sophisticated algorithms. We have Sophos labs, our most experienced and skilled analysts sitting in Sophos labs and processing data which can't be processed by artificial intelligence. And Sophos security operations team responsible for response on threat or attack. Of course, behind this everything are our products, software, hardware, services. As you can see, we have protection for endpoints, server, mobile, encryption, we have firewalls, Wi-Fi, cloud. Also, we are producing hardware firewalls, secure switches, secure Wi-Fi, red devices, and providing services, as you can see, MDR, rapid response, professional services. And all of this is managed by our unified management console called Sophos Central, as you can see. And our platform is open. You can integrate with your systems which maybe you're using for automation, like CM, like some event management reporting, and so on. But what is the goal? This is the main question. So, does your network look like this? Everything is patched, protected, green, clean. How many of networks? Who can say that he's or she is fully confident their network is like this? Anybody? Or network looks like this. There are some problematic networks, need restart, using some outdated operating system, unpatched. Your users are able to install some software on it without approval. As you can see, you have some printer scanners and so on. Some very old machines, especially in this industrial automation and so on. And all these devices represent the risk for security. This is very important to know. So, but how antivirus is? Only two of organizations here are free using XDR. That's the reason. All others using some kind of antivirus, next generation, endpoint protection, and so on. But how antivirus is working? Like a traffic light. There is a red, there is a green. What does it mean? It's going to block whatever is detected as malicious and confirmed. What's not is going to be passed. But there is a gray zone. Please always remember this. There is a gray zone which can be suspicious, but it's not confirmed malicious, and this basic antivirus is with pass this through. So have in mind this. And attackers knows this. They're using gray zone to jump into your networks, because it's much easier to go through this way, through the gray zone, but not invest in designing some malwares that will be easily detected by this next generation endpoints. So they are these days focused on the gray zone, and we are talking about behavior detection. So this is so sensitive to be detected, and this is so sophisticated types of attacks, and you need so sophisticated solutions, not tools, but solutions to respond on this. So in reality, vendors are drawing this line somewhere to avoid high number of false positives, and you have situation like this. This is red, this is green, gray zone remains. And for example, also for the same applies to all vendors, because this is technology limitation definitely. But there is a good news. There is a tool called EDR XDR that helps you to monitor, manage, and to inspect this gray zone, to control. It's very important to know this. So if your network looks like this, as here, you definitely need XDR tool. And that's very important to understand. This is not nice to have anymore. This is mandatory. This is need these days. That's the reason why we have a high number of attacks in the region successful. We are not hearing about attacks that were not successful, but media will always talk about successful attacks that were highly damaged to organizations. So each vendor has a gap, because this is technology limitation, and some vendors has tool to manage it. Sophos is leader in is positioned in leader Magic Gartner Magic Quadrant for 13 years in a row, and only one vendor was there with us all these years. All others come and go. So we are talking about best protection. We are the Premier League, so our gap is per default very narrow if you compare with other vendors, and we of course have a tool to manage it and much more than this. So what is Sophos XDR? Tool for capturing, analyzes, correlating events from endpoint, server, firewall, cloud, email, and so on. And by this, you can get answers on these basic questions. How many of you were in position they are under attack, but are not able to answer to the management what happened, which data is stolen, is it stolen, and so on. It's very hard to do it without the right tool. And just one example. For example, this is some record from the CM. As you can see, when we are talking about behavior detection, it's not about anymore technology in the way that it's more about business content. Putting some event or log in the proper business context to understand, is some user behaving in malicious way or behavior normally, in legitimate way. So how to detect this from such kind of log? This is very few information here for the business content, and that's the limitation. For example, if you are using XDR, you have much more information because XDR system is going to enrich the event. So you can put easily in the proper business content and then make decision, is this malicious or banning. So how does this work? We are uploading data into our data lakes, into our clouds, processing this data by machine learning, by machine intelligence, by human intelligence, to be able to put it in proper content and to detect suspicious activities. And by this, to further inspect and to block it if it's something malicious or not. So that's the reason why we build this, because it's need. You can't these days protect the system from systematic type of attacks and very sophisticated by using independent products that are not talking among themselves, because you need the system to answer on such type of attacks. This is like if somebody attack you with a pistol and you are trying to protect yourself with rock. So this is parallel from the real life. So have in mind this, please. So, but to use XDR tools efficiently, what do you need? First, of course, you need tool license software. Then you have a trained personnel. This is most important thing or input for such kind of security operations. These people should perform threat hunting, forensic, incident response, non-stop operations 24/7 and so on, with immediate, or to have own SOC, some kind of own SOC. And of course to have information intelligence, to sit on the source of informations and inputs. And how many of your organization is able to provide? Is there any organization that has own SOC in place? You have? You? Okay. And working in 24/7? Okay. What is the minimal number of staff you have to be able to run such operations? 6, 7. Minimum is 7, I know, but minimum, to be on the minimum, according to the theory, you need 7 to run 24/7 operations. And usually organizations have 1 or 2 security persons, and usually these persons are not pure security persons, but IT plus security as an add-on. Am I right? I was in the same place for many years. I was managing large networks and teams in technology operations in several of the biggest telcos in the region for 15 years. So I was in this trouble also, yeah, for many years. So, do you feel that you are alone against today's hackers? Or not? How do you feel this? Because it's becoming more complex, you need more to invest, but the risks are going up, and your capability probably to protect are on the same or lower level, because we see that number of incidents is growing. So it's very important not to do trade-off with security. It's not so pricey if you are comparing in the proper way. So these are customer challenges. Very difficult to find and to retain talents or the staff, especially in IT and security. This is the common problem. This leads to that you're not able to optimize or to use your tools that you invest a lot in proper way. So these are not valuable. And of course, you are growing and you need to upgrade your security programs. So one of the solutions is to let professionals to do security operations for you. That means to outsource security operations to the companies which deal with security each day, to the companies which has a security as their core business. And the same applies in real life. So how many of your organizations still has their own physical security department? Or you are outsourcing this? So the guys standing on the door, probably it's outsourced. Am I right? Because they are doing this better than probably our organizations. This is their core business. The same applies to the cyber world. Why not? So yesterday or 2 days ago, Sophos launched renewed Sophos MDR service, Managed Detection and Response Service. This is a service of outsourcing security operations towards the vendor. So cybersecurity is so complex, as we concluded and we heard from colleagues from before. Operations so difficult and moves so fast that most organizations simply can't manage it effectively on their own. And what is solution? Cybersecurity as a service. So we first built the ecosystem, the system that is able to learn, to evaluate, to go through evolution each day, constantly learning by processing data, getting new data from many sources. As much sources, different sources you have, your results will be more precise and more proper, and you will be able to make more correct decisions and to answer in a proper way on this. So this is the logic, and it's growing like a living organism. So this system, adaptive, at Sophos is living organism. And on top of this, we introduce these managed services. So you can outsource everything to vendor, to Sophos, to do for you. You do not have to do anything in the end. So this is service instant operation center. It provides 24/7 threat detection and response service, expert-led threat hunting, full-scale incident response, superior cybersecurity outcomes. And why Sophos is the best in this moment? We are proud to say we are best in this moment. After what we launched, a new or upgraded service of MDR in the world. Because you have vendors on the market that providing this model of MDR, in your own technology. That means that integrated with existing security infrastructure and providing MDR service on the top. And you see here some example vendors. Then you have vendors, single vendor MDR, vendors that needs their own solutions in the bottom for all nodes in the network to be protected to provide such service. You see here, starting from the agent, and Sophos belonged before to this group. But from yesterday, Sophos is the only vendor that provides only service that combines the strength of both delivery models. What does it mean? There is no need anymore to replace existing cybersecurity. It's delivered using our integrated tools, third-party tools on any combination of the two. So we are open. You can choose Sophos for protection and for MDR, or we can utilize your existing infrastructure, or we can make the mix. So we are able to get input from each system in this world to make proper conclusions and to respond. So why we are proud to say we are the best, the number one in this moment. You see here some numbers, some facts, and of course, helpfully, this is able helpfully to our adaptive cybersecurity ecosystem. It was easy to us when, after we built such system, to introduce this advanced managed detection and response service. This service exists for 3 years, but now we renew it and open. And of course, you can easily integrate through the APIs with other external systems. And you can see here with which vendors we can easily integrate it right now. We already prepared connectors for this. It's very straightforward, few clicks, and you are going from Microsoft, McAfee, Sentinel, Trend Micro, Palo Alto, Fortinet, Checkpoint, Cisco, Microsoft, whatever you want. So practically, we can integrate it with any vendor in the world. And just see this. Those organizations too that have own SOCs. What are your detection times, average, investigation, and remediation? As you can see here, when I was manager in telco, after one security incident, detection time was several weeks, investigation time several months, and remediate never. Not to speak about my having no capability to report to the top management. This was 10 plus years ago. Luckily, attackers were not so dangerous in that time as they are today. But as you can see here, detection time 1 minute, investigation 25, remediation 12 minutes. Think about if you decide to build your own SOC, are you able to achieve such short times? And we have a free Sophos service tiers, free licensing subscription, Sophos Threat Advisor, Sophos MDR, and Sophos MDR Complete. All of them includes integration with non-Sophos security products. So about exact services, features of this service we can talk later if you're interested. And you see Sophos MDR included integrations for free. Third-party endpoint protection, Microsoft Graph Security. So you do not need to pay anything additionally. And these are add-on integrations with other vendors, as you can see here. So we are able not anymore to collect data from Sophos products, but also from almost all major players in security in these days. And we are providing 3 types in general of Sophos security services. There is one, Sophos Compromise Assessment. This service is the service if you have some doubts, are you breached or compromised? Something suspicious is going on, but you are not sure. You can't confirm by yourself that you were breached or attacked, or you are under attack. Then you can call via our partner Smartcom, Sophos. Sophos team will execute Sophos compromise assessment, and as a result you will get information, yeah, you are breached, you are under attack, or you are not. And that's it. This is the scope of this service. Next one is in the case that some organization confirmed that you are under attack, or you have valid proofs for this to say, for example, ransomware attack locked your endpoints on server. It's obvious that you are under attack, so you can call Sophos Rapid Response, engage this service, and Sophos Rapid Response Team. There is NATO Rapid Response Teams, this for fast reaction. Sophos can help you to fight against attackers, to neutralize the threat, to stop the attacks, to harden your network, to prevent further attacks, and to help you to restore your services. But we are probably not going to decrypt your data, because in majority of cases it's not possible, but we will help you and do compromise assessment and everything else, you to be sure. And of course, if you don't want to get breached, or again to get breached, you can protect yourself subscribing to Sophos MDR, Managed Detection and Response Service. And you can see here how others see us, how we are rated on Sophos, on Gartner peer. Inside for MDR, for endpoint, for firewalls. You can see here in G2 quadrant, we are a leader in MDR service ratings these days. And just for you to understand, to summarize how we are positioning our products, if we are talking about protection, and these next generation products, all of you have so-called antivirus. This is Intercept X Advanced. It belongs to the protection. If you want to do it by yourself, detection and response, then you are talking about upgrade to the XDR. This is product. If you want to outsource the operation services, then you subscribe to the MDR. And of course, rapid response if you under the attack. So if you have any questions,